So in this video, we're going to take a look at the Freewell ND filters, and they have one trick up their sleeve. That's right, they're magnetic. Freewell sells a variety of different filters, including drone filters, Osmo Pocket filter were actually reviewed in the past, and I was impressed by that. So when they asked me to review a filter for cameras, of course I was intrigued. Upon opening up the package, you'll find a pouch that has a microfiber cloth, stickers, as well as a lifetime warranty card, as well as a metal ring. So this is good when you don't want any UV filter at all, if you're not into that. Or if you want to put this on another lens, you can do so. That way you can swap between different lenses, which is really neat. Opening up the case, you'll have the ND filter as well as the metal lens cap, which attaches magnetically to the filter. And connected to the filter as well is a UV metal ring. Basically, you can attach this to the front of your lens and you have a built-in UV filter. This will protect your glass from elements and all that stuff, and also provide a magnetic end, which you can attach your ND filter to. And then the metal lens cap just attaches on top of that, which is really, really cool. And basically, this means you can actually just leave your setup like this, keep the ND filter and the lens cap on all the time, and when you get ready to shoot, you can just take the whole ND off if you don't need it. Or if you do, you can just take off the lens cap, which is a pretty neat design. So taking a look at the ND filter itself, it has a very nice metal construction, it has these little neural grips on the edge, so you can have a little bit better of a grip when holding this filter. It has a very nice red sheen that makes it look really cool. Along the sides, you have the Freewell logo, as well as shows you the intensity, ND8 for this example. In the front of the filter, it shows you which size it is. So for instance, this is 82. However, something you're not gonna find on your filter is my name. This is really epic. I did not expect this. So when I actually noticed it after a few minutes, I was really surprised. Very nice. Freewell's ND filters that have the magnetic attachment does not come in a variable option. You just have straight up ND. So in theory, this is going to give you sharper images, better color, for instance. You're not going to get any X pattern when you're using a variable ND. However, the cons coming from a just solid piece of glass means you're only limited to that one stop reduction. So the ND8 will cut down 3 stops. And the ND16 will cut down 4 stops. But the great thing is, with this setup that's magnetic, you can just stack them. You can basically buy just these 2 filters, an ND8 and ND16, and basically you have 3 different intensities. Let's talk a little bit about the build quality of these filters. They have a very nice metal construction, very durable. The lens cap, let me pull it off here. I actually dropped these on concrete a couple times. You can already see it's a little scuffed up already. If you like to keep it pristine, I don't think that's gonna last for too long, especially if you drop them on concrete. Now, one thing I do think they can make an improvement on is it's hard to take off the lens cap, and sometimes you do take an ND filter with it. So I do wish there was a little lip on the lens cap, and that way you would be able to peel this off really quickly. Imagine just like a little protrusion here. You could press your thumb up against it, pop it off really simply. But other than that, it works pretty well. Okay, so that's enough with the build. Let's talk about the image quality. So I went out and I did a few different tests, and I wanted to compare a few different NDs I've reviewed in the past. The first being is the variable filter from Tiffen. A lot of people use this. It's a bit more pricey. However, the image quality is pretty good. And then I compared it to the Lužid filter, which has a really nice build quality, nice hard stops on either end, but it's cheaper and the image quality is not as close as a Tiffen. So I wanted to get basically a different perspective comparing 3 filters, as well as comparing a variable ND versus just a solid piece of glass. For this first example, we're using the Freewell filter. And as we can see, very sharp, very detailed. I don't really see too much of a color shift, which is really impressive to see from this ND filter. Next, I put on the Tiffen variable ND. There's actually a little bit more of a color shift as well as in terms of contrast. I don't know why exactly. Then again, the Tiffen is variable, so it's more complex. I actually do think that the Freewell filter is sharper as well as not as much color shifting happening. So definitely a plus on Freewell. Next, let's throw up the Lužid. And as we can see, we start to see a different color shift again. We still retain contrast, which is nice. But when we look in for sharpness, it's definitely a little blurry. Not as sharp as Tiffen and definitely not as sharp as Freewell. Overall, it's looking pretty good for the Freewell filter. Next, let's do the Skintone Test. Here we have our handsome model, and to switch things up, we're gonna start with the Lužid filter, which is the cheapest. It looks very nice. We have a nice shallow depth of field being retained. Yeah, let's zoom in here. There's a little bit of softness still, I can still tell, but overall it gets the job done if you need a variable ND. Next, let's throw up the Tiffen. It looks a little bit different, a little sharper, but something still with that contrast. And now let's throw up the Freewell filter. The Freewell is looking very cleaner, nice and sharp. It has a very natural look to it, just kind of how I see it with my eyes. It's a bit cooler as well. Compared to the Tiffen and the Lužid, those are warmer and kind of gets in the greens area, which most variable ND filters do. This is a very nice image straight off the bat. Freewell's optics are really impressive, and it's nice to see that. I like having that confidence knowing that I'm not sacrificing on the image quality too much when I throw an ND filter on, or even the UV filter. Cheap UV filters can cause glaring, you can lose sharpness, but I like having a UV filter when I'm out on a shoot. It just, that peace of mind knowing that my lens is protected. I do think that they are quite the investment, especially at this price point, but they're definitely awesome. Great image quality. The stackability and the magnetic nature of it is really nice. Definitely worth something to invest in. So that's it for this video. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. And yeah, catch you guys next time. And of course, we gotta put these stickers to use. There we are. Oh yeah.